Just a quick video to talk about emotional and spiritual detox. So, there is a lot to say about a spiritual and emotional detox. Basically, when you start a detox journey, um, you'd start by reforming your eating habits, your sleeping habits, you try to exercise more, try to be a bit closer to nature. I mean, there's plenty of different steps that you can take in order to start your physical detox journey. And this is most of the time for most people who go through a health crisis, who experience a lot of pain, suffering, and sickness. Most of the time, it's going to be the starting point. And it does make sense, doesn't it? But after a while, the question of emotional and spiritual detox is going to be very important. Basically, toxicity is not just about toxins you have in your body because you're eating the wrong food, because you have combustion, and then you have waste because of the combustion and that kind of stuff. It's that definitely there is a physical part to it. Definitely, don't get me wrong. You are not just a bunch of cells. You have a physical body, but I mean, this is the basis of the holistic healing strategy. It's about considering the whole person in its integrity. It's with its flesh, bones, and with its spirit and mind and emotions. So basically, what happens is the same than for the physical side of the detox. The physical side of the detox is all about taking responsibility of your health and acknowledging what you're doing wrong, what you're eating wrong, or what, everything that you are doing wrong and trying to change it. Well, the spiritual detox is not any different. Spiritual detox is all about taking responsibility for your actions. Did you do something wrong in your life? Did you cause somebody harm? Did you cause pain and suffering to somebody? If you did, and we all do, then it is, in a way, impacting you at this moment. If you did something wrong to people in the past and did not acknowledge it, did not repent, then it's going to make you suffer. The word repent is loaded, with plenty of meaning and misconceptions, maybe. And basically, it's not maybe something that is old-fashioned, and it's not about hurting yourself and punishing yourself. It's about just acknowledging your actions and taking responsibility for them. Taking responsibility, I believe, is the most important part of it. And so if you did something wrong to some people, now is the time to make up for it. To Even if it was a long time ago, maybe you can just contact these people and tell them you're sorry that you did wrong. You did not treat them as you should have. And adopting a positive behavior is going to be a very important part in your way, in your work towards good health. Now, emotional detox is a little bit different, maybe. It's more about emotions that are trapped in your body. I'm thinking about Christian Telchaler, who depicts it in a very helpful way. Basically, he describes in some of his videos the emotion of fear as it is experienced by people from the West. He explains how it is so different from the way people um, describe it in more primitive cultures. By example, fear would be, and this it describes how this is fear getting into your body. But in different cultures, fear would be expressed like, and this is fear getting out of the body. So basically, the emotions are coming in and getting out. And the problem is that in modern society, in our Western world, it is expected of adults not to show too much emotions and not to express themselves too much. And some people really have a really hard time when they try to express themselves. I am one of these people who have really a lot of trouble expressing emotions and letting them out. And for me, it is probably one of the byproducts of having being the victim of narcissists, because basically the narcissist is going to feed on your emotions, on your pain. And when you have to be with narcissists, you might, as myself, develop the tactic of or the coping mechanism of not showing your emotions, because then the narcissist is not going to have so much pleasure in attacking you, and then what happens is it then he might lose interest, and this is a way of coping with narcissists when you have to live with them. And so that's a very unhealthy coping mechanism that is necessary at some stage in your life, but might stay imprinted in your habits. The second reason for myself why it is very hard to acknowledge emotions and pain, is that in a way, in my perception, if I if I don't express anything, if I don't show I'm in pain, then what happens is that I think that what is happening to me has less reality than if I scream in pain and let out my emotions. So it for me it is making it more real if I react to it. So what if I bury it inside? Well, it is buried and I don't see it, and maybe I'm thinking it's not as real, but it's not honest. It's not being honest with yourself, because the cause of the pain is there, and your body and your soul knows it, whether you acknowledge it or not. And so that's something I definitely have to work on myself, and it's work in progress. Being able to acknowledge and express pain, emotions, and not just bury it all inside and hope that I mean, if it's not seen, it doesn't exist. If it's not expressed, it doesn't exist. Well, it's a very, very unhealthy coping mechanism. Now, emotional detox is also about, and I know I'm gonna lose some of you there. It's it can be something that has to do with transgenerational traumas. So there are some extremely interesting books you can read on the subject about transgenerational traumas that and how they impact yourself. So without really being conscious about it, you know, because maybe you're one of your ancestors might have had issues with childbirth or work or and you can see that you might learn that in your family there is a pattern of people divorcing and um, struggling to raise their kids, or maybe people struggling with work situations and people who would have liked to work but don't, and it's a trauma in their life, you know. So there, I mean, the idea behind transgenerational traumas is that you have in families some patterns of traumas that keep repeating themselves and that impact the younger generations and the following generations without them being really aware of them, and that you are kind of carrying the burden of your ancestors without really knowing it, and you sometimes can feel some pain that you don't know really where it's coming from, you know, but it might be coming from generational trauma, transgenerational trauma. Now there's another side to it that I believe that I'm going to lose more, even more of you, is that when you have traumas that come from your own past lives, and that is a fact. Because the idea behind this um, is that in your past life, you experienced something and it has some impact in your present life. And so there is some toxic emotions that you can actually inherit from, not only from your physical family but also from your past lives. So in that case it's all about you can, I mean, work with hypnosis therapist, for instance, or shamans, you know. This is a very big aspect of your detox journey. You're definitely much more than you're just flesh, bones, and cells and fluids. It's there is there is much more to it, to a human being, than just flesh and bones, and there is your mind and your spirit and your emotions that have to be taken into account when you are in your detox journey. Good luck.